Lily, listen. It's about the wedding.
Oh hey, Kenda. I was just about to message you. Have you spoken with my mom?
Yeah, I'm currently with her. I understand that it's your family home as well. But since I'm staying here, I encounter your mom on a daily basis.
Honestly, I never expected you all to move in with our parents. I recall you saying it would never happen in a million years. Anyway, what's up, Kenda?
Anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand, your wedding. I heard some rumors about your wedding taking place in Hawaii. Can you confirm that? I was completely taken aback when I heard the news.
Well, you heard correctly. Having my wedding in Hawaii has always been my dream. The sun, the romantic sunset on the beach. Rio and I are both ocean lovers. Did you know that we actually met for the first time on a beach? I can remember it like it's yesterday. We both have our hearts set on a beachside church for the ceremony. I can picture it now.
Don't you think that's a bit unfair?
Unfair? What's unfair about it?
I wish I could have had my wedding in Hawaii. Tom and I just had a little wedding at the church down the road. Nothing as fancy as a beach ceremony in Hawaii.
I thought it was a lovely wedding. Just close family and friends, it was really heartwarming. We all had a great time too.
No, it wasn't. I had to compromise on so many things. I wanted a wedding somewhere glamorous, and I had to give up on a designer dress. I had the whole thing planned. At least 2 wardrobe changes. I gave up on all of that. I had this vision of me coming down a river on a gondola, a big Italian gondolier singing and little girls throwing rose petals into the water. And I didn't get the 10-layered cake I had wanted.
A gondola and 10-layered cake? What age do you think we live in? This isn't the good old days, you know. I've been to a few weddings recently and nobody is going all out like that. Imagine the cost of the cake alone. And coming down a river on a gondola? You'd have to find a church near a river first. You could have searched the internet, but I don't think I've ever seen a gondola company in this town.
It's all very well for you to say, you are going to have your fantastic beach wedding in Hawaii. I got a quote from the wedding planner for my dream wedding and Tom flat out refused to even consider it. You're Tom's little sister, so you should have a less showy wedding. You and Rio are just trying to upstage us.
Kenda, we've been planning this for a long time. The point isn't to upstage anyone. This is the wedding we want to have, so we've worked hard to make it a reality.
Well, if you are determined to make me look bad, I'm not going to be at your wedding. And neither will Tom.
You won't? That's a shame, but if you really feel that way, then I suppose it can't be helped.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit through a ceremony that clearly was planned to make our wedding look like it was done on a shoestring budget at a minute's notice.
Okay, if that's how you really feel, then if I give you an invitation it will just make things worse. I'll take you guys off the list, okay? Then you won't have to think about it. Sorry to make you so upset. That wasn't the intention, I can assure you.
Why are you acting like this is going to go ahead? Cancel it and have a small wedding here in town. There are plenty of nice little churches here. And the reception doesn't have to be so fancy either. You can slash the budget in half. I won't have you upstaging us.
Why do we have to cancel just because you say so? If you don't want to be there, fine. But you don't have any say over the matter.
I'm your older brother's wife. We are the ones who have to carry on the family name. You're off to join Rio's family. You'll be gone and forgotten. As the wife of the head of the household, you'd better listen to me.
What the hell? Since when did you have this kind of authority? Neither you nor Tom are the boss of me.
I've moved in with your brother and parents, and we are continuing the family name. The least you could do is grant one simple little request. I think I'm more than within my rights to ask that of you.
We've already booked the chapel and made all the arrangements. We can't alter anything now without a massive cancellation fee. And it's ridiculous to expect all the guests to cancel flights and hotels.
All you have to do is cancel it. That shouldn't be too much of a problem.
It can't be done. It won't be done. You may not have had your dream wedding, but that's got absolutely nothing to do with us. I'm not canceling anything, so you'll have to accept that. If you aren't going to come, that's your business. We won't have you try and ruin our big day.
Well, that's extremely unfortunate, Lily. I'll be telling Tom about this. You just wait.
Hey sister, why won't you do as Kenda asks? It's not such a big deal.
So you heard? Did she tell you what she's demanding of Rio and I? I was stunned. I didn't know how to reply.
I'm still at work, but I hope you aren't going to make a big problem out of this. You aren't, are you?
Just because you didn't give her the wedding she wanted, doesn't mean you have any right to tell me what I should do with mine. I'm still fighting back the urge to give her a piece of my mind. She's your wife, so handle it, would you? Why do I have to deal with this?
You've always been like this. Since we were kids, you never listened to anyone. You haven't changed. For once, would you just do what you're told? I'm your older brother, so could you just do what we ask? You're the baby of the family, so it's time for you to listen to the adults. Got it?
Hang on, Tom, are you really telling me not to have my wedding in Hawaii? You're dead serious? I thought you might just be going along with what Kenda is saying so as not to cause trouble. I find it hard to believe you actually mean what you say.
Of course I mean what I say. Every last word. A small wedding at a local church was good enough for us, and it is sure as hell good enough for you and Rio. You probably haven't given any thought to the guests either, have you? How many of them can just drop everything and fly to Hawaii? Not to mention the cost. There must be a lot of friends and family who are going to struggle to afford such an extravagant wedding.
Everyone I invited said they'd be happy to come and we're looking forward to it. They could always have said they couldn't make it. I wouldn't have been offended.
No, Lily, they're just being polite. There's no way everyone on your guest list can afford a ticket to Hawaii and a nice hotel.
Well, actually, Tom, we are covering travel expenses. It's all included in the plan. Nobody is going to be out of pocket paying for tickets.
It's not just the money. Man, Lily, you are so self-centered. What about the time? People can't just go to Hawaii and back in a day. Have you thought about that?
Well, they'll need to stay there, of course. But that's why we have chosen a time when most people are able to take a break. And we are only inviting a few close family and friends. It's not going to be a big ceremony.
I don't care. You are not having a wedding in Hawaii. That's my final word. You got it?
Mom and Dad seem to be really looking forward to it.
Look, why don't you cancel and have a big wedding right here? You could invite as many people as you want without causing problems for everyone. As the soon-to-be head of this family, I've thought. Unlike you, I gave consideration to everyone involved. We didn't want people to feel the obligation to spend loads of money. We didn't want to put people out of pocket. That's why we had our wedding right in town here.
Yeah, because the quote for your initial plan was so ridiculously expensive, right? You had to abandon it because it was going to use up every last penny you had.
That's not what happened.
It is. Kenda told me. Rio and I started planning and saving for this years ago. That's how it is all possible. We didn't just suddenly decide we'd go to Hawaii. This wedding plan has been years in the making. You guys didn't save for anything, and just decided to have the most lavish wedding without any planning whatsoever. Don't lump us in the same category as you guys. Your budget was only a fraction of the quote, right?
How are you qualified to make a judgment on that? You don't know our situation.
Any bystander can see you don't have that sort of money. And you went on a trip overseas just before your wedding. Isn't that the same as the honeymoon overseas?
Kenda is constantly uploading photos of her fancy lunches and gourmet dinners to Instagram. She spends money like you have an endless supply.
It's no wonder you didn't have the money for the wedding she wanted. On your salary, honestly, it would have been impossible with her burning through money like that.
Don't you make fun of me. I've got some savings.
Like a few coins in a piggy bank?
Very funny. How would you know anything about my finances anyway?
I'm your sister, remember? You've never grown out of smoking and drinking and you still love the casino, right? Can you even save it all? And what about those model trains you love making? They must cost a lot of money too, right?
How do you know all this? Have you been spying on me?
You don't realize just how much of your private lives are on the internet, do you? Aren't you worried about the future? You just spend money as if you don't have a care in the world, and then wonder why you can't have the wedding you want. So where do you get off telling us we can do what we've been planning and saving for? You don't have a leg to stand on.
If that's going to be your attitude, I won't be going to your wedding, that's for sure. You'll regret this. And by the time you realize what you've done, it will be too late. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your only brother won't be there on your big day. How about that?
If you really don't want to come, Rio and I aren't going to force you. It's entirely up to you. We are going to have the ceremony the way we want it. That's it. I'm not going to have anything more to do with you guys.
Same here. You'll regret this. Don't come crying to me, begging us to go to your stupid wedding. I'm going to post all over the web about this. I'm 100% against your marriage. Your friends will all see it and then nobody will celebrate your stupid wedding. And it will serve you right.
Grow up, Tom. Don't bring other innocent people into this.
It's you who needs to grow up if you won't listen to me and Kenda. You're like a spoiled little child.
Lily? Are you there? I've just been to the bakery and bought some yummy-looking cookies. Do you want to share them? Oh, that's right. You're not here, are you? You must be in Hawaii by now, right?
Oh, sorry. I didn't notice your message earlier. The time difference here is messing with me. You and Tom, you'll go ahead and eat the cookies.
Are you in Hawaii yet?
Yes, we've just arrived at the airport.
Well, your parents are here. Has it ended up as just you two having a wedding on your own?
No, everything is going to plan. No, everything is going to plan. Mom and Dad are on a flight tomorrow night. Have they been packing?
Packing? Of course not.
What? What do you mean? They're booked on a flight arriving tomorrow night.
Well, there isn't going to be a wedding, is there?
What are you on about? Of course there is. We are already here in Hawaii and everyone else is scheduled to arrive over the next couple of days.
You mean to tell me you still don't know? You'd better contact the venue right away, then. It was absolutely scandalous that Tom's younger sister was going to have a fancy wedding in Hawaii. We couldn't have that at all, so I canceled it.
Thank you.
What? You're happy?
So it was you that canceled the wedding.
What do you mean? You knew?
Right after you called the venue pretending to be me, I happened to call our wedding planner. She suspected something fishy was going on. But anyway, I was able to catch her just in time.
But I canceled it.
You sure did.
So, it's canceled then?
Yes, didn't you just say you canceled it?
Well, yes, but. So, are you in Hawaii right at this moment?
We used a company dealing in Hawaiian wedding packages. That company got a call from our planner. It turns out our first choice for a venue had had a sudden cancellation and she asked if we'd like to change our ceremony to that place.
What?
The place we had first wanted to use is really popular and you have to wait years sometimes for a slot. We missed out on our original application by a matter of minutes and settled for the place we thought we were going to use. But you canceled it, so by an incredible stroke of luck and great timing we were able to move our wedding there. That's why I was saying thank you.
So you're saying you got your first choice and you are going ahead with the wedding?
Yep. Just look at this place. Isn't it wonderful?
It's a stained glass chapel like I had dreamed of. And the beach is beautiful.
Yes, it's all thanks to you, Kenda. It's going to be even better than we had planned.
That's not the way I thought it would turn out.
And apparently there was a couple who were able to take the venue you had canceled. They were over the moon. So you've made two couples very happy.
I feel sick.
I have told all the guests about the change of venue. Mom and Dad will be here tomorrow night. Look after the house while they are away, will you?
Well, okay then, we'll be there. You and Rio are paying for the flights, right? We may as well make the most of the chance to go for free. I've got a nice white dress I could wear.
What? No, that's impossible now.
You could at least let me take some photos I can use on Instagram.
Insta. That's all you care about? I'm sorry, but you aren't on the guest list. I mean, I suppose if you pay for it yourselves, but getting tickets and things at such short notice is going to be difficult. Not to mention expensive.
I just want to take a few photos, that's all.
That's just not possible either. As I said, the venue is super popular, so we don't have any free time there. It's a really tight schedule.
So you're saying we can't have any part of it whatsoever?
Not at all. There should be a present for you from me arriving the day after tomorrow.
What kind of present?
It might even change your life. I hope you like it.
Bye.
Now, I've got to go to the final meeting with our planner.
Hey, Lily. What's the meaning of this?
Is the middle of the night here? I'm turning off notifications.
Don't you dare. Is this your present?
Oh, you mean the invoice? Yes, you were the one who canceled my wedding, so it's only right that you should pay.
What? Why on earth should we pay?
I thought the invoice was self-explanatory.
But it ended up in your favor. You got exactly what you wanted and thanked me for it.
That was the end result, yes. But it doesn't change the fact that you pretended to be me and canceled my wedding. But don't worry, as I said, another couple was able to jump into our canceled spot at the last moment, so you'll only be charged for miscellaneous things like labor costs and travel expenses, rearrangements at the chapel. That kind of thing.
$7,000 for miscellaneous costs?
If it was the full cancellation fee, you'd be adding another zero to that. You're lucky it's only $7,000.
Why the heck is it so expensive?
Well, there were a few trips to Hawaii to meet the planner and inspect the venue. And of course the admin fee for changing the church. And the contacting of guests to tell them. Oh, and because we changed churches, we also had to change hotels for some of the guests. And I almost forgot the charter bus to pick up and drop off the guests from their hotels. It all adds up.
But you happily changed the church. You wanted to.
Yeah.
And we are forever grateful to you. But it only worked out because I happened to contact the planner. If I hadn't called her, the whole thing really would have been cancelled. Your deception only came to light out of pure luck. If I had called the planner even an hour later, that would have been it.
So I'm not responsible for the cost.
That's just what it costs to change venues at the last minute. All the plans we made over the months went out the window. We've also had to sit down with the planner again. Paying for this might just help you to see how much damage you've done.
You think? I'm going to talk to Tom and have him sort it all out.
I'll tell you this for free, that invoice was written up in accordance with state law by our lawyer. You can't just wish it away.
You went and got a lawyer involved?
If you refuse to pay, we'll see you in court. I've got the phone records into recording from the travel agent of you pretending to be me and canceling my wedding. If that's not enough, I've also taken screenshots of your Instagram posts boasting about ruining my wedding. I can easily print out all the malicious comments too.
Wait a minute, Lily.
You and that stupid brother of mine post every little thing you do. The whole world can see what you're up to.
Hang on, I'm just a housewife. There's no way I can afford to pay for all this.
I told you my present might just change your life, didn't I? I will be a good chance for you to get off your butt and work.
Me? Get a job.
Yes, Mom told me the reason you and Tom are living with Mom and Dad in the first place is because you are having financial problems. Mom told me she's asked you repeatedly to pay something towards the running of the house, but you never have. And you won't lift a finger to help with the housework. You're a pair of parasites.
No, we are doing them a favor by living with them.
Oh, really? Doing them a favor, are you? I suppose they begged you to live with them, is that it?
Exactly.
Well then, they no longer wish you to live there, so please kindly, get out. The stunt you pulled trying to cancel my wedding was the final straw. They don't have any more patience for you too. They'll tell you themselves when they get back from Hawaii.
Hang on a minute. We can't live on Tom's salary alone. We don't have to pay for anything if we live here, so we are free to use Tom's pan ourselves.
So not paying your fair share is intentional then. It's not that you can't, you just don't want to give up your fancy lifestyle. Whatever, it's time for you to leave.
I'm sorry, Lily. You've got to convince your parents to let us stay.
Can't be done, sorry. And I need to get some sleep or I'll be a wreck at my wedding. Good night.
Don't just abandon us. Lily.
Next time you'll be talking to our lawyer.
If we are forced to leave, we'll be out on the street penniless. You know Tom has it save a cent. Lily? Answer me. Don't block my messages.
Our wedding was perfect. Mom and Dad evicted Tom and Kenda from their house. Tom denies any knowledge of Kenda canceling our wedding over the phone. When he saw the wedding invoice, he was livid. Kenda was furious with him for supporting the wedding cancellation. Their ongoing fights have taken a toll on their relationship, and it seems inevitable that they're headed for divorce. Despite their ongoing conflicts, they are both employed and have to take care of their own financial obligations, including the money they owe me. They're barely making ends meet.
Hey, are you still residing at home without making any progress?
What the hell? That was out of the blue. How's it going, bro? I'm doing all right, and
Yeah.
I'm still residing with Mom and Dad.
That's completely astounding. You're nearly 30 and still haven't moved out of the house.
I'm still 28, but
Yeah.
we're both getting older.
That's not the issue here. Don't you realize the issue of nearing middle age, residing in your childhood home, isolated and disconnected from society? Aren't you ashamed to consider that as a way of living?
I don't understand why you feel compelled to portray my situation in such a negative light. What does it have to do with you?
Oh, but it does. More than you can imagine.
What do you mean?
You and I are very different at our cores.
You just criticized me for being a middle-aged recluse and insisted that I should feel ashamed about it. You're heading towards the exact same situation you're lecturing me about.
You and I are very different at our cores. I hold a steady job and actively contribute to society, working for one of the fastest growing companies in the country. On the flip side of the coin, there's you. Someone who refuses to work, relies on their hard-working parents, and burdens society with their laziness and lack of ambition.
Lay off, man. How many times have I said this? I work from home.
Ooh, professional house sitting. YouTuber? What other pseudo jobs do you do?
You know as well as anyone that society is shifting to remote work whenever possible because it saves time and increases efficiency. Also, I'm self-employed, so that's a bit different.
Oh, I got it. OnlyFans.
Whatever, have your fun. Why did you all of a sudden decide to move back home?
I'm the eldest, so it's my duty to take over the house now that Dad is getting along in years and will retire at the end of the decade. Someone needs to look after them and everyone knows you can't be counted on. You know, responsibility? Yeah, I got it. You don't.
Now you want to play the good son. You never call them and only visited on holidays. You never even spent the night. Always renting a room at a nearby hotel because you didn't want to stay.
I just didn't want to impose on them because they have to deal with you on a daily basis. But now since I'm moving back, I don't want to have to share the same living space as a good-for-nothing shut-in. Just being in the same room as you during our family gatherings gives me an ulcer and causes me to break out in hives. Because of that, can you move out and make all of our lives easier?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Isn't that a bit too selfish? You want to come back home now, so I have to leave immediately? Truthfully speaking, I don't really mind one way or the other. I'll leave if Mom and Dad agree to it. But have you even spoken to either of them about moving back in and taking my place?
They both love me, so it's not going to be a problem at all. It's too embarrassing for me to even acknowledge you as my brother, so I have to act like you don't even exist. The people I work with don't even know I have a brother. Believe me, it's best if you just piss off somewhere away from our family and let me have my way here. It's in everyone's best interest.
For the last time, I have a job. For God's sake, I've never had to try so hard to explain myself to someone and still not have them understand what I'm saying. And you're my brother, for crying out loud.
You've been trashed at everything since as far back as I can remember. You were always chasing my shadow, mimicking everything I did, and failing spectacularly every time. If only you had my brains and talent, you wouldn't have had such a sorry life.
Well, I did get accepted first try to the university you failed to get into, so I'm not sure where you got off saying I'm not as smart as you.
Who cares about what uni you went to? It means nothing if you go to a good school but do nothing with the education and become a parasite leech. I still managed to get hired by a Fortune 500 company and have something to show for my education, unlike some freeloaders that shall remain unnamed.
Okay, sure. Whatever you say, bro. We are two different people living separate lives with different goals and values. If we both enjoy what we do and follow our dreams, then everything is peaches.
Wrong! I'm working my butt off and proving my worth to everyone while you're still an unemployed leech. Learn from your big brother for once and become independent. It's about time you quit sponging off our parents and get a life.
For the last time, I'm not sponging off anyone here. There's nothing to sponge up here, to be honest.
What does that even mean? Everyone in our family has become successful in their field except you. Dad is the vice president of a big contracting firm, Mom is the head nurse at the city hospital, and I'm a veteran employee at a tech giant. Then there's you. Probably a neckbeard SJW moderator who only leaves his room to nuke his nuggies and evacuate his bowels.
Glad to know you think so highly of me. Unfortunately, that bird misses the mark completely.
You may have graduated from a good university, but that is wasted on a shut-in that can find a good job to pay for their own underwear.
I really don't know why you're trying to stereotype me into being a shut-in, but I leave the house quite often when business requires me to do so.
But that doesn't change the fact that you spend most of your time inside, does it? Stop trying to defend yourself. It's sad to hear you try to come up with excuses. Mom told me about your daily schedule, and she never lies.
For heaven's sake, it's for work. I used to frequent a shared office space to get my business done, but I find that I can focus better working from my own room.
Oh, buzzwords and Gen Z work ethic. Trying to make it sound cooler than it actually is cringy. I know how it really is, so nothing you say can make your position sound better than it really is.
I see nothing I say will convince you otherwise, so let's wrap this up. I still have quite a bit of unfinished work, so I'll take my leave if there's nothing else.
Yeah, I guess being a professional recluse is a 24/7 job, so you better hurry up and get back to doing nothing. About me moving back, I hope everything is in order for me to take over.
Moving? You're actually serious about that?
Of course I was serious. Why would I lie about something like this?
As I told you before, you never showed any interest in dealing with Mom and Dad.
Whatever, I'll be moving in tomorrow.
That's a bit on the sudden side, isn't it?
So you and all your crap needs to be out before the trucks arrive.
What the hell, dude? That's asking a lot on such short notice. As I asked before, did you get Mom and Dad's approval for all of this? Do you really know what's going on in this household currently?
A non-issue if that. Of course I know what's going on. I'm the eldest son. Mom was overjoyed when she heard I was gonna move back in. I guess she's happy that the useful son is gonna take the place of the gargoyle that drains her happiness and sanity.
I see, so you really want me to leave and you're gonna take my place?
That's right. Nobody needs you, so get lost and make way. I'm sorry, you're feeling frustrated and abandoned?
Not really, I thought it would hurt more, but I actually feel kind of free, like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. You understand that once I leave, I'm never coming back, right?
It's what we're all hoping for.
So everyone is really okay with me leaving this house and burning all bridges behind me?
Quit trying to sound so dramatic. You're acting like your simple existence brings some kind of value to the table. Spend more time packing and less time trying to make me feel sympathy for you. It's not gonna work. You're the black sheep in a family of accomplished individuals. A louse like you brings down the prestige of our family, and probably even the land value with your unwashed flesh.
Excellent.
What?
I'm so glad to hear that from you. I was recently thinking that I really want to get out of here, so thanks for the seal of approval. Okay, I'll be out of here with all my stuff before midnight. Thanks for taking over and taking care of Mom and Dad.
Wait, can you really leave that suddenly? When you have no money? Don't think of asking Mom or Dad for money.
I told you I can leave on my own with no help from anyone. I'm not sure where you're getting your information from, but I have plenty of money.
How could you? You're a bum.
For the last time, I am not a freeloading sponge. So, as per your wishes, I will be leaving this house to your care. As an addendum, don't bother me with any of the problems you may encounter as the new man of the house.
I don't see how you have anything I would need or if any of your skills would be of value to me. Just leave and open a window before you go, so your funk doesn't make me gag. Hurry up and pick up. We need to talk ASAP.
I have nothing to say to you. I told you not to get me involved anymore. I'm finally gonna be able to live my best life. You had your time, now it's mine.
This is not how any of this was supposed to go.
What are you talking about?
Mom and Dad are living at me and want me to convince you to come back.
No, and why? You have a job and bring in a handsome salary, don't you? They should be happy to have a reliable son like you looking after them. So, it's no longer necessary for me to hang around there and keep them afloat.
It's not that.
Oh, perhaps you didn't tell them that me moving out was part of the deal of you moving back in? No, that can't be it. Ultra-reliable big brother Alex would never make a mistake like that. He would never kick his little brother out of their childhood home in a show of power and not tell their parents about it. I wasn't quite a hurry last night getting my stuff packed to go and didn't have time to talk to the rents. I simply assumed that you would have of course told them about the change they would have to witness.
Well, it seems that Mom didn't know that you would leave when I moved back in. She was so excited to hear that I was coming to live with them again. Apparently she thought that we would be able to live together as a full family again. So she was overjoyed imagining how things were going to be again.
Yeah.
That's something you should have explained better. Anyhow, I'm not going back. Make sure you make the monthly mortgage payments on the house, so you can all continue to have a roof over your heads.
Mortgage? I thought the house was paid off.
You didn't even know about that?
I haven't heard anything. Mom is in hysteric panic, and Dad looks like he's about to blow a gasket. I was told just to get a hold of you. What is this nonsense about paying a mortgage?
Up until now, I was the one paying off the mortgage they took out on the house.
How is an unemployed freeloader supposed to pay off anything? But more importantly, why did they take out a mortgage on the house?
Let me answer those in order. For the umpteenth time, I have a job. In fact, it's extremely well paying. A few years back, a security program I wrote was picked up by the Department of Defense. Since then, I've been raking it in programming security algorithms for all kinds of companies. I also make brisk business being a consultant and advisor on the side. I'm making money hand over fist at the moment and have plenty saved away in a rainy day fund. That is more like a tropical storm vault now. Because I'm making good money now, I've been able to help out Mom and Dad in these tougher times. Now, it's your turn to support them.
Why wasn't I told about any of this? You were just a freeloading parasite after university, right?
There is nothing to freeload off of at that house.
Dad makes enough money from his job as a contractor that there should be no need to mortgage the house, right?
You really need to learn to stop and listen to people around you, instead of running your mouth and trying to force your way by talking fast and loud. Dad took an early retirement a few years back and blew his entire severance package at the racetracks. He even went into debt to the bookies and is now working part-time as janitor at the supermarket to try and feed his habit.
You can't be serious.
Mom had to resign from her job at the hospital because of the embarrassment her husband caused us. She is now working the till at the local gas station to help pay off Dad's debts. I can't believe you really didn't know anything.
No, this can't be real. This is nothing like it was supposed to be. This is not my plan.
Plan? May I ask you what your plan was?
I plan to quit my job at the firm and take it easy at home for a good while.
You wanted to do what you thought I was doing?
If I came home, then I'd at least have a place to stay for free and eat 3 square meals a day. I figured I could use this time off to figure out what I wanted to do next.
So the truth comes out. My cocky elite brother was really just a gopher at the bottom of the pecking order.
Where did you hear that?
A good friend of mine from university was hired by the same company as you. He said there was a guy that had been there for years, but was always screwing up paperwork, providing the wrong documents, and being a general pain to everyone around him. He was suspicious at first because that useless employee's last name was the same as mine, but could it really be? I heard him out and asked for the full name of the landmine employee before him. Lo and behold, the name matched that of my dear older brother.
Who was that? Tell me now.
Doesn't really matter, does it? You know that most of the people around you felt that, didn't you? That's why you're quitting. To escape the ridicule and mocking stares.
On top of that, I never thought I would have to pay for things when I moved back home. I have no savings at all.
Maybe you should have used your salary more economically instead of blowing it on a luxury car, designer clothes, and stupid watches.
What should I do? The contract on my apartment was up, so I bailed before I had to pay another deposit on it. I had nowhere else to go. The only option is for you to come back and help out the family.
That's a nope from me, bro. You told me to leave, and I did. On the condition that I would never return once I left, and we would never communicate again. You were happy to agree to that. Now you come begging on your knees after insulting me for years.
I didn't know Dad wasn't dead and both our parents are only working part-time jobs.
That mortgage money was supposed to go to paying off Dad's debts, but he secretly took it to all the races, and lost it all on one race. So the mortgage isn't the whole debt you need to deal with, you still have to pay off the principal on Dad's debts to the bookies. Have fun.
All of it? Are you serious?
Yes. It's quite the sum. With my earnings, I kept the interest payments at bay and was making some headway against the principal. It's now your responsibility, big bro. So as the responsible eldest child, you will now buckle down and wade through the mocking and ridicule at work so you can earn a paycheck to support your parents, right?
That's impossible. I turned in my resignation yesterday. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. Why does nothing work the way I want it to?
Life doesn't care about your plans, and those around you have no obligation to bend to your petty demands. I've spent the last 5 years of my life paying off Dad's mistakes while weathering your vitriol. Now it's your turn to pony up and my turn to enjoy the wealth that I've justly earned. I also told you to make sure everything was okay with Mom and Dad. I figured you would learn the truth then, but you obviously didn't let Mom explain anything and ran your mouth. This is what happens when you don't communicate properly with those around you. Same as your, I guess former now, job.
I thought Dad was a super successful businessman. So I had a safe fallback. Why did things turn out like this?
Gambling addiction is a real disease. Half my efforts have been to try and keep Dad from taking his paychecks directly to the horses. But he still tries every 2 weeks to sneak out to the races. I was even paying for therapy and rehab, but he always skipped out on them saying he had no problem, and he was sure the next time would be his big payoff. He may be a lost cause.
Then what should I do?
I don't know.
Don't act like this doesn't concern you.
But it doesn't. You took responsibility for everything once you kicked me out. I double and triple checked that you understood that once I left, I was never coming back. I have zero intention of helping you out and will not return under any circumstance. Use your elite skills and status to power through this, all right, buddy?
Do you really think you can abandon me at a time like this? I am your older brother. You must respect me and do what I want you to do.
As you said yourself, I'm just mimicking what my older brother does.
What do you mean?
So I'm abandoning my position and claim no responsibility of a situation that is clearly difficult, but can be solved through hard work and sacrifice. Just like you, big brother, I learned it from you. Take some advice from yourself here and get off your butt and do something with your life. You'll be unable to fulfill your dream of leeching off mom and dad, so you might need to revise your plans. Ironic that you ridiculed me for the imaginary lifestyle you then wanted to take up, only to find out that you have more trouble and responsibility than the life you're leaving because it was too hard for you. Subsequently, Alex returned to his job in an embarrassed state, imploring to have his resignation revoked. He professed to experiencing a change of heart and discovered newfound motivation to become a valuable asset to the company. Naturally, his request was denied and his resignation was accepted, leading to his departure from the company. Evidently, he endured ridicule from his colleagues throughout the final fortnight as someone inadvertently divulged the reasons behind his resignation and the predicament he had encountered. Jim declined to lend a hand, exacerbating the family's predicament. They were incessantly pursued by his father's outstanding debts, and Jack had to secure the first available job that would accommodate him. Hopefully, this humbling ordeal will impart a valuable lesson to those who are excessively arrogant, prompting them to restrain their pride. Alternatively, they might find themselves in a situation akin to Alex's.
I thought that we agreed that today was just going to be me and Jenny. Why did you tag along as well? Or what changed?
Isn't it obvious? I had to tag along. I can't trust you. If I don't keep an eye on you, I know you will try to steal her from me. That's why I had to tag along.
I wouldn't do that sort of thing. I know she needs her mom too. Besides, Jenny is already 14 years old. She's more independent than you think. I think she just wanted to spend the day with just me. She's honestly been acting surprisingly mature for her age. As such, I feel like we need to respect her decision in the matter more. How we interact shouldn't be something dictated by you alone.
Why do you think she's been acting that way? She still refers to you as her father, for now. And even if she is 14, she's still only a child that isn't old enough to make serious decisions about her life on her own. If we give her too much say in the matter, things could easily come tumbling down on her.
Regardless, just let us have some quality time together without you constantly interfering. I'm only able to see her for a little bit at the end of each month. Can't I have that time undisturbed? I mean, I understand you're only doing this because you love her and care about her. However, I feel the same way. I won't let anything happen to her.
If you understand how I feel, let me continue doing it. I am doing it for her sake. You realize she has a new dad now, too? Things can't remain the same forever. That's the situation now, which is why things need a change. Having you constantly taking her away from us is quite inconvenient.
I really appreciate you always making sure I have time to spend with her. By the way, has she been getting along with your new husband?
Why do I have to tell you that? That's none of your business.
Because you always like eavesdropping on people's talk, so I didn't feel comfortable asking Jenny about it today. Besides, regardless of her relationship with her new husband, she will always be my child. Of course, I want to know about her relationship with your husband, and I think I have a right to know.
Well, I think it's going well for both of them. They get along pretty great. He's a much better father than you ever were. I don't think I am the only one that is happy about getting remarried.
Well, that's good to hear. As long as my daughter is safe and happy, I am content. Besides, I'm not too upset about the divorce. You did cheat on me after all.
Despite that, your cheating ex-wife was able to get full custody of the child. I wonder why. Perhaps it's because the judge noticed how absolutely worthless you are as a father. Throw as many insults at me as you want. You've already lost. Nothing you do now will change the fact that I won full custody of her.
You only won because they didn't take your affair into consideration when deciding how to handle custody of Jen. As usual, the courts decided it would be best for the child to remain with their mother, even though the mother isn't the better parent. But I still think it's ridiculous that I had to give you custody in the end. The courts are truly stacked against the fathers.
Oh, that must be so terrible for you. Get all your tears out. Anything else you want to complain about? None of it will matter at this point. No matter how much you whine, the situation has been settled.
I realize that. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Jenny had a bunch of bandages on her leg. How did she get hurt? She told me she got hurt at school, but she was acting weird about it. Is that really what happened?
Of course that's the truth. What else could have possibly happened? You heard it straight from her own mouth. Why are you doubting your own daughter? Don't make a big deal out of nothing.
When she told me, she looked a little frantic. Like she didn't want to say the wrong thing. But it does make sense. You said she joined the soccer team recently. Injuries to your legs are pretty common. Maybe I'm just worrying over nothing. I got hurt all the time when I played sports at her age too.
She joined the soccer team after our divorce. That's all there is to it.
I just think it's weird that she hasn't told me any of this. She's never even mentioned playing soccer to me before. It's all come from you.
Why does she need to tell you everything? You don't even live with her anymore, so I doubt she feels the need to keep you informed about her every decision. I imagine having a relationship with you is just a nuisance to her. It's probably challenging for her to remember what she has and hasn't told you.
She hasn't been responding to my texts lately. I wonder if there's truth to what you're saying. She had always been really good about staying in touch until just recently. It's really unlike her to be so out of touch.
She's starting to go through puberty. That's how kids are at this age. They start to pull away from their parents. You probably haven't noticed though. You're barely a part of her life anyways. It's not just soccer, you are missing out on a ton of things.
I guess I have been. That's the unfortunate consequence of getting in a divorce. I still have a feeling that she wanted to talk to me about something. In the end, she never did bring it up though. Do you have any idea what might be bothering her lately?
I don't know. Stop bothering me. I imagine it wasn't that important anyways. You are her former father after all. Perhaps she's just gotten uncomfortable around you. It's hard to be natural with someone you barely see. My family is extremely happy right now. Don't try to mess things up.
I don't care about any of that. All I'm worrying about is my daughter. Please just keep an eye on her and try to figure out what's been bothering her for me. Please, you're the only person I can ask to do so.
I am doing really well at my job as her mother, whether you ask me to or not. I'm going to take off now.
Bye.
Hey Dad, I'm sorry for being out of touch. I can't live with Mom anymore. I'm absolutely at my limit for what I can tolerate.
Where's this coming from all of a sudden? What happened? Did you guys get in a fight or something?
Something way worse than a fight. For starters, she only listens to what her new husband says. She won't stand up to him at all. And she won't do anything to protect me. Even if I have done nothing wrong.
Protect you from what? What the hell happened? Did he hurt you?
You saw how I have bandages all over my legs, right? That didn't happen at school. Mom's new husband did that to me.
He did what? What did he do to you? Did he hit you? Why the hell is he hitting my daughter?
He hates me. He said he can't stand to be around me, seeing as I'm not his real daughter. If I try to stand up for myself at all, he just starts hitting me. He said a daughter who doesn't obey him is no daughter to him.
Does your mom know about this? Have you asked her for help?
I told you before, she didn't do anything. She's also terrified of him, she does everything he says without question. He has her on a tight leash. I see him mistreat her all the time, too. I think she's scared of what had happened to her if she tried it but in and helped me out.
I knew there was something weird the last time we hung out. You seemed like you wanted to tell me something but couldn't with your mom watching. Were you worried she would tell her new husband what you said?
Honestly, when they first got married things weren't too bad. He never acted violent towards either of us. I don't know what happened, but lately he's a completely different person. He's constantly on edge. I wanted to tell you about it but I couldn't. Mom's new husband took my phone away from me.
I think he was worried I would say something and he'd get in trouble. That's why you haven't been responding to me lately. I figured something had to be up. Are you okay right now? How are you able to contact me?
Mom persuaded him to let me have my phone back. I'm actually on the way to your house right now. After I got my phone back, I bolted. I didn't even have time to put my shoes on.
Thank you for clarifying the situation. I'm sorry that you've been going through this all on your own.
It's okay, Dad. I can handle this much. I'm sorry, Dad. I just can't force myself to go back to that house anymore. I'm outside your house right now. Please open the door.
I'm really sorry, but I can't do that. You should return home for now. Please go back to your mom's house.
Why don't you open the door? Don't you love me? Why are you forcing me to go back to an abusive place? I can't take it anymore. I don't think I can handle another day in that house. Please. Let me come in. I'm begging you.
I know. There's still nothing I can do right now. I'm trying my best to remedy the situation, you just need to give me more time. Promise me, please. Promise me you'll go back to your mother's place for just a little bit longer. I'll make it up to you. Next time we get together, I'll buy you some ice cream.
Do you really think ice cream is going to make this better? Why are you being like this? Do you understand the living hell I experience every day? Do you not care?
You used to always love it when you were younger. Do you remember? Just try to focus on the good times for now. Head back to your mom's place for now.
Never mind, I guess. I never thought you of all people would be so heartless. I'll be heading back home.
It's gotten dark outside, so be careful. You are definitely getting that ice cream next time we get together. It's a promise.
All right.
I got a message from Jenny just a bit ago. It seems she came all the way out to my place. What's going on? Did you guys get in a fight or something?
Nothing like that happened. She is just being moody over nothing and decided to leave on her own. You made sure to send her home, right? If she's on her way back, I don't see a reason for you to be contacting me.
I did indeed tell her to head back home. I still don't understand why you're bothering me with this. I just wanted to let you know that she's on her way home in case you were worried. I figured you would want to know where she was. She should be getting back anytime now.
Thanks for informing. So can we be done with this conversation?
There's something I would like to say before that. I don't think it's good for a middle schooler to be traveling all this way on her own in the middle of the night. As her mother, I just want you to be more conscious of her whereabouts.
I don't need a lecture from you on how to parent my child. If there isn't a point to this conversation, I'm going to stop responding.
I'd like you to hear me out just a little while longer. Between working all day and having to live in an environment that you aren't used to, even the kindest of people could lose their temper from time to time. Maybe they get angry enough to strike someone. If something like that did happen, you'd of course support the person who was hit, right? Especially if they didn't do anything wrong.
Who do you think you are? Is there a purpose behind this ridiculous hypothetical situation?
There is. You are responsible for our daughter when she is under your roof. That includes protecting her from your own husband. I don't feel comfortable with how things are right now with my own daughter.
I have nothing to say to you. You aren't a part of my family anymore.
As long as you understand. That's good enough for now. Well, then I'm leaving. The rest of it up to you.
What the hell do you think you're doing? Where did you take my daughter?
Why are you messaging me this early in the morning?
Jen made it back to your place last night, didn't she? When I woke up this morning, and she was nowhere to be found. I know you're behind this. What have you done with her?
Ah, that's great. It seems like she understood what I meant.
What the hell are you talking about? This isn't funny.
Wait. You didn't seem too upset when Jen left yesterday for several hours. Why are you so upset now? Even though I was messaging you clearly worried. You weren't even a bit concerned.
Do I need a reason to be worried when my daughter has gone missing? Any mother would be concerned. Don't insinuate anything weird.
Oh, my bad. It seems whatever you did to Jen's phone isn't working anymore. That's a real shame. No wonder you're so worried now. Now, you have absolutely no idea where she is.
You think I tampered with her phone? Where is this coming from?
Don't try to play dumb with me. It was obvious. You probably installed a ton of different apps to monitor her location and her messages. You didn't want her to say anything that would make you look bad to me, so you monitored her.
How dare you accuse me of that? Do you have some sort of proof?
Yesterday when Jen initially contacted me, I had an idea that something might be up. Especially considering your new husband came to my house. Why would he come yesterday of all times? I made the connection immediately.
I'm not seeing the connection. Why does my husband coming to your house have anything to do with tracking apps on my daughter's phone? That's ridiculous. Who's to say he even went to your home intentionally? I think he was just in the area for work and you happened to see him.
Did his job require him to stand in front of my house for 30 minutes lying in wait? It doesn't take a genius to realize that that sort of behavior is suspicious. I'm sure you saw that she was on her way to my house via the GPS tracking. So you sent him to come and sit outside my house in order to catch her before she arrived here?
Stop with all the ridiculous accusations.
We both know this isn't a false accusation. Jenny is with my parents right now. They called me earlier to let me know she's there. She apparently noticed a bunch of weird apps that she had no recollection of installing on her phone, too.
Even if those apps were on her phone, that doesn't mean I put them on there. She might have installed them accidentally and forgot they were there.
Why would a middle schooler need apps to track her own phone?
Shut up. Don't mock me. You told me yesterday that you told Jenny to go straight home. Now, she's at your parents' house. How the hell do you explain that?
How would you know what I said to Jen in a private text message? I don't recall telling you I said that. Where did you get that knowledge, huh? You can try keeping quiet about it, but you clearly read our text messages. It's evil. Do you not trust her at all? Or have you done something that you're desperately trying to hide?
I was just worried she might say something weird that would make me look bad. I had to read her messages. But you were the one who pushed her away when she was begging you for help. That was cruel. Despite that, you still think you should be the one who cares for her?
Did you forget? Your husband was hiding next to my door waiting for Jen to arrive? If I had tried to let Jen stay with me, do you really think your husband would have just stood by and watched it happen?
He would have stopped it because he's that girl's father, after all.
That's right. I figured he would do that as well if I didn't send her away. You guys are truly scum. I should have you arrested.
What crime have we committed? There's no point in playing dumb anymore.
I know what's really been going on in that house of yours. which is why I reported all of that to the police as soon as my parents took her in.
You didn't say anything yesterday about this.
If I did, who knows what you and your husband would do? I had to bring my daughter away from you guys before your husband would get furious. And who better to take it out on than our daughter? It's a real shame she had to have you as her mother.
But wait, you mentioned something about the police earlier. What do you really mean?
I can't forgive you for just letting it happen under your nose. You clearly knew it was happening and you did nothing to help her. Rather than help your own daughter, you monitored her every action in order to protect your husband. You're a pathetic excuse of a parent.
That is going too far. Would you stop with the insults already? I'm her mother.
She doesn't need a mother like you. You know what's more depressing than that a child having a parent who won't even provide a safe home for her own child to live in? Oh, I almost forgot, your husband has already been arrested.
What? He's already been arrested?
Did you forget your vows when you got married? You're supposed to support your husband in sickness and in health. I'm pretty sure that includes being in prison. You married the person you were having an affair with after all. So don't abandon him, now. Not long after our conversation, the police arrived at Amanda's house. They took her with them to the police station for questioning. Jenny also cooperated with the police. She exposed to everything that she had been put through. Amanda and her husband received a harsh prison sentence without a chance of parole. I'm sure they are getting along great with their fellow inmates. My parents have been supportive since they were arrested. They helped me get full custody of Jen. Now Jenny and I are living together and getting along great. I've come to realize something about Jen now when I'm living with her again. She was forced to prematurely mature quite a bit. But I think this was due to the hostile environment that she was living in. When she was living with them, she was punished any time she would act like a kid. As a result, she started to suppress those feelings. Now that some time has passed, she's starting to act more like a kid again. She's been smiling when she's been happy and crying when she's sad. I want her to feel free to be herself. My daughter acting in a more age-appropriate manner makes me feel like I'm doing something right. It's been the most rewarding part of being a full-time parent again. Now I'll do everything I can to make sure Jen can have the childhood she deserves. I'll also do my best to ensure that nothing terrible like that happens to her ever again.
Honey, have you taken a break from work yet?
I'm not done with the work yet, so don't bother waiting for me.
Egan, I told you you needed to go home early today. And this is absolutely not the time for you to drink alcohol right now. Think about taking better care of your health.
Oh please, save me, big lecture tonight. You think I came to the job because I wanted to do it? You know what it feels like to be a working man struggling to get in while you're sitting at home all day? Sometimes you have to come to these work dinners even if you don't want to, if you want to survive in the company. How many times must I tell you that it's no exaggeration to say that attending corporate dinners is an extension of my work?
But I told you that I have something important to tell you today.
What do you have to tell me? Say it now and don't stammer like that, okay?
It's not something I can tell you by text. That's something I have to tell you directly.
Oh my God. Just say it now. I know it's not that big of a deal anyway, so don't waste any more time and let me know quickly.
All right, the health check results are in. And the result is not very good.
What do you mean when you say that the results are not so good? Just make it clear so I can really understand it, okay?
Egan, they discovered signs of cancer during the physical examination.
What? Is that correct?
Well, we have to examine it more closely to know the full details. But it seems they have found a particularly hard-to-treat cancer in the colon. I know it's very surprising, but try not to worry too much about it. Today's cancer treatments have become quite advanced, and I am sure we will see good results if we implement the treatments.
Well, who knew that things would take such an unexpected turn? I never thought you'd get cancer in 100 years. I heard that people with colon cancer don't live long, so I guess you will die and ascend to the spirit world soon, right?
What did you say?
How long can you live exactly when you have colon cancer? Well, whatever, to be honest, I don't really care. I don't really care for that and it doesn't really bother me, so you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Then I guess we'll have to go to court and file for divorce as soon as possible.
What? Go to court to file for divorce? Do you know what you're saying? How drunk are you now to say such meaningless things to me?
Oh, now I'm not drunk at all. Corporate dinners are a big deal. I'm really enjoying this moment with my girlfriend. I am more awake than ever, so please pay attention and listen to me now. I'm not the kind, generous guy who can take care of his ailing wife with cancer, okay? I can't see you running around in a hospital gown with all your hair falling out. I won't be able to bear it and I can't live with you anymore, so hurry up and get a divorce and get out of my house.
What? Are you serious with me right now? Are you cheating on me with another woman? Don't you lie to me enough, but you still want to throw me away like a worn-out shoe just because I have cancer? For you, doesn't it make sense for us to live together as husband and wife for more than 10 years? Don't you feel any sense of well-being as a spouse or even as a fellow human?
What are you talking about right now? I don't know what you mean with that nonsense, but there's nothing I can do about that stupid trash. I don't need an ugly, wrinkled old woman dying of cancer. What I need is a girlfriend who is 10 years younger than me, beautiful, healthy, and just looking at it makes me happy. And don't blame me, blame yourself for not being able to take good care of your body and bring cancer into yourself. You'll die soon anyway, and you won't need the money or the house when you're gone, so you can leave everything without taking anything else, right? Do whatever you want to go back to your parents or become homeless on the street, it's your choice and responsibility as an adult.
All right. I guess you are correct. If you have cancer, then you don't really need the house, the money, or anything like that, so you just go with your clothes on and nothing else. I mean, you really shouldn't take any material things with you that you can't take with you when you die, so you should leave it all to your family.
Now you understand what I'm saying, don't you? Then you'll join me in getting a divorce and signing the papers as quickly as possible, right? I mean, I'd rather be divorced than widowed because that sounds better socially, if you know what I'm saying. I don't want to be labeled a pathetic widower. You understand it, right?
All right, I'll agree to divorce you. I will pack your bags for you immediately so you can get out of the house as soon as possible. If you want to go to your girlfriend's house or sleep on the street, I guess that's completely up to you.
Huh? What are you talking about? I thought you had colon cancer, but the cancer has also spread to the brain, right? Why am I out of my house?
You just said that the person with cancer and dying doesn't need anything anymore, just the clothes on his body are enough to go, right? Or did you just forget what you just said?
Well, you're the one with cancer that should be gone, not me.
You still don't understand, do you? How you managed to get a job in a company and get a girl to hang out with you with that level of intelligence is really a big mystery to me, honestly. The person with cancer in the results of the physical examination is you, not me.
Don't lie to me. It's not like I've got cancer.
Well, go check it out and you'll see, right? Whatever the outcome, at least that's not my concern, but I'm just telling you that's what the hospital told me.
Okay, fine, I'll go home right away. When I get home, we can both search the hospital together and make an appointment right away. I'm sure it won't be a big deal in the end, so don't worry about it too much and just wait for me.
Huh? What did you say? Did you ever flip a burger as a kid or something? Because the way you just turned your mind around is pretty amazing.
Hey, you know I was just joking, okay? I think you're going to be a little depressed because you have cancer, so I tried to make a joke and cheer you up. I'm going to ask permission to leave the company dinner right now, so wait for me when I get home, honey. Honey, the test results are in. It turned out that I actually had colon cancer. And the doctor told me that I had only 6 months to live. I mean, how could I have cancer? What sin did I commit that God wanted to take me away at such a young age? I didn't feel sick at all and I had no pain inside and went there saying I would disappear from this world in half a year. Honey, what should I do now? Why don't you say anything, darling? Your husband has just learned that he is dying. Why do you keep quiet and say nothing? Say something, anything.
I don't know, Egan, what should I say? I don't have anything to say to you. Oh,
Yeah.
I almost forgot. Can you and me go to court tomorrow so we can get a divorce? I don't want to be seen as a woman who eats away from her husband or anything like that. Because it won't be so good when I want to get remarried later, you know? Do you understand me?
I'm just telling you that the doctor told me I don't have much longer to live because I have cancer. How can you say such cruel things to me now in such a terrible situation? Do you not feel sorry for the husband who has been with you for 10 years?
Weren't you the one who betrayed that pledge first? Don't you say you don't need a wife with cancer? And that you would rather live happily ever after with your new girlfriend after divorcing me as soon as possible?
Look, I was just messing with her, she means nothing to me. Think of it as the occasional takeaway Chinese order, you know, sometimes you want to eat some sweet and sour pork when you're bored of eating at home all the time. I mean, it's not even sweet and sour pork. It's like ordering food and eating some cheap fried noodles. How can I compare you, a good wife, a wise, intelligent woman, to someone he only met once to pass the time?
No, I don't think so, Egan. I don't think I'll be good for you either. What can I, an ugly, old woman, do for you by being by your side while you are fighting cancer and fighting for your life? If you want to prolong your life by one more day, then you need the fresh, bright energy of a young, beautiful girl. So get rid of something as old as me and get married to your lovely girlfriend. I heard that sometimes God can grant the wishes of the deceased, so how can he refuse your wish to be with your loved one when you are about to die? I understand it all, Egan, so don't worry about me.
Please don't say such cruel things to me, darling. Listening to you say that, my heart froze. There's no one in this whole wide world that I can trust but you. My so-called girlfriend blocked my number as soon as I said that I was diagnosed with colon cancer. She is a really cold person. I know I'm the bad guy here ever since I was tricked by her and it led to me betraying you. I really was wrong with you and I know I deserve to die, but I promise I won't betray you again. So will you forgive me for this last time and accept me as your loving husband? How can I get alone without you, fighting cancer alone and facing death? The truth is, I'm scared. So darling, please stay by my side, okay?
If I were the one with cancer, you would get rid of me immediately, right? I know exactly what kind of person you are now, so how can I live with you knowing who you are? I'm sorry, Egan, but I'm not a generous person to care for a husband who betrayed me.
But I really don't have anyone other than you right now. If you turn your back on me, then I have no one left to lean on, and you know that I really have nowhere else to go. I grew up in an orphanage, not related by blood to my family. What can I do if you throw me away?
Why should I worry about such a thing, when it just gives me a headache, Egan? When I can get a divorce and move in with my parents, unlike you.
Are you really going to divorce me even if I get on my knees begging you like this?
Well, Egan, how many times do I have to repeat it?
Okay, fine, if that's what you really want then I guess there's no way around it. I don't want to hold someone who doesn't need me. Anyway, I don't have much time left to live so I guess I'll just roll around and die. But since I have to go to the hospital for cancer treatment and it will cost a lot of money, you can't take all of my property, right? Are you healthy enough to make a lot of money later?
What property? We don't have any of that.
What do you mean? Don't we have the $40,000 we've saved up? Even if we get a divorce, won't I get half of it, $20,000? Don't tell me you're going to try to get all the money out of a dying person, okay? You're not such a cold-blooded monster, are you?
Now, what does it matter if I am hot or cold-blooded? You betrayed and cheated on me, and if we get a divorce you will have to pay alimony anyway. But I can't really go around with my ailing body and work to earn alimony. So why don't you just give me $20,000 instead of paying alimony and we can take it as peace?
What? Are you serious now? How could you do this to me? That is the worst thing. You are really a greedy pig, both ugly and greedy for money. If there's anything I regret in my life, it's meeting such a selfish, egotistical, greedy woman as you. I don't understand why God forgave you. And instead, God decided to take the life of me, who grew up without parents and just suffered in life. I'm filled with so much anger and suffering right now.
I don't think you have a lot of time to lie around and think about silly things like that. Why don't you save some of that energy instead of wasting it on such stupid things and looking for a new home to live in while you still can?
Ha! What did you say? Looking for a new home to stay?
Yes. Why are you so surprised? Did you forget that our house was purchased by my parents in my name? When we get divorced, I will sell the house to a real estate company and move back to my birth parents' house with our daughter. So try to get out of the house next week. Oh, and don't even think about setting me up under the pretext of being our daughter. You've never played with her once or really paid attention to her. You never even gave her a warm smile, and she told me that she doesn't have any feelings for you. So give it all up, just sign the divorce papers and get out of the house.
How could you do this to me? You were even worse than the devil.
Honestly, I want to tell you the same thing. You have nothing in hand, but I marry you because I believe you will be a good and honest person. It's only now that I realize your true face and true personality is just a piece of garbage. I thought that I could help heal you because you grew up without parents and you must have suffered very deep wounds. But you're the kind of person who decides to stomp on and tear through my unconditional love and best wishes for you. I hate dealing with complicated formalities, so I'll be hiring a lawyer to take care of everything soon, so talk to an attorney. I divorced my husband and got full custody of my daughter. The betrayal and hurt I felt was just as great as the love and trust one had for him. Therefore, I never contacted my ex-husband again after the divorce. Egan is battling cancer while living in a tattered house. My mother visited him a couple of times and brought him some food. I even brought my daughter along to say goodbye to my ex-husband a few days before he left this world. My ex-husband looked my daughter in the eye and said sorry while tears rolled down his face. I learned that he passed away and that his spirit returned to heaven not long after that. He has a precious family, but he doesn't realize it. Instead, he betrayed his family and ignored it, which eventually brought a sad ending to himself.